The man went to visit his girlfriend's family and learned that her father was a highly respected lawyer. At the dinner table, he casually mentioned that before medical school, he had also passed the bar exam. But the seasoned father saw right through Jack and sternly asked him what his real intentions were. Jack, in perfect form, gave another Oscar-worthy performance. "I'm nothing," he said. "I'm just madly in love with your daughter." That struck a chord with the father, who came from a similar background. With his help, Jack successfully obtained a legal license. The good life finally gave Jack a taste of happiness he hadn't felt in years. He called Carl, begging him to let things go. But having scammed over $4 million, there was no way Carl would simply walk away. At Jack and his fiance's wedding, Carl showed up. Jack had no choice but to flee the scene. He told his fiancée to meet him at the airport the next day. The next day, she came as promised, but Jack didn't show up. With his sharp eye for detail, he had already noticed plainclothes officers swarming the airport. His face had been exposed. Escaping through the airport was impossible. His girlfriend had betrayed him, but Jack wasn't just any con man. He was the best in the world. Disguised again as a pilot, he returned to the aviation school claiming to recruit flight attendants. He selected 8 beautiful women, then strolled into the airport with them on either side. All the officers were distracted by the women, not realizing the man they were hunting was walking among them. Once again, Jack slipped away. On top of that, he hired a decoy to impersonate him outside the airport. By the time the police realized they'd been tricked, Jack was already in the air. He traveled the globe, endlessly using forged checks so authentic they could fool banks. But after countless encounters, Carl finally discovered flaws in one of them. On Christmas Eve, Carl found Jack alone. But Jack wasn't nervous. In fact, he happily greeted him. He hoped to relive the warmth of last year's Christmas encounter. But after years of chasing, the cat was no longer the same cat. Carl turned the tables and said, "There's a whole team of police outside. If you try to run, they'll shoot you dead." When Jack walked out in handcuffs, he found the streets completely silent. This time, the cat had finally beaten the mouse. On the flight back to the US, Carl told Jack that his father had passed away. Jack broke down, locking himself in the plane's bathroom and sobbing uncontrollably. But even after the plane landed, he didn't come out. Carl kicked in the door. Jack had vanished. Looking out the window, Carl spotted him. But this time, Jack wasn't running. He had gone to see his mother, only to witness her living a happy life without him. At that moment, he gave up for real. Jack turned himself in and willingly got into the police car. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Months later, Carl visited him and handed him a check to examine. Jack instantly spotted the flaw, leaving Carl genuinely shocked. He then convinced the FBI to have Jack released under his custody and turned him into a financial fraud expert. Years of deception had made Jack a master of his field. While helping law enforcement crack fraud cases, he also designed secure checks for banks, eventually becoming the world's top anti-fraud expert. Today, many banks around the globe pay him millions each year for his expertise.